The atmosphere in KwaMashu remains thick with tension as Nkazimulo and Geja find themselves cornered by systemic pressure. In the opening moments of the episode, the dual burden of survival and unspoken guilt weighs heavily on their shoulders. Neither character can afford to make a misstep, as the dangerous faction known as Amantaliyane continues to exert an absolute hold over their daily operations. Behind closed doors, secret conversations begin to unfold, signaling a shift in strategy. Instead of engaging in outward rebellion, the duo realizes that their only viable path forward involves subtle maneuverings and tactical patience. Mondli enters the frame as a pivotal ally, operating within the strict confines of law enforcement while trying to navigate an increasingly corrupted landscape. The dynamic between these three individuals is marked by deep hesitation, as trust is a rare commodity in their world. Every shared look and hushed phrase reflects the high stakes involved in their secret alliance. As the scene sets the foundation for the episode, the viewer is introduced to the core dilemma: how to dismantle an oppressive force without becoming collateral damage in the process. The pacing remains deliberately measured, emphasizing the psychological toll of living under constant surveillance and the constant threat of exposure. This initial chapter establishes the underlying conflict that propels the rest of the narrative forward, laying out the emotional parameters for every major decision made in subsequent scenes. Moving into the second sequence, the focus shifts to the clandestine meeting between Nkazimulo, Geja, and Mondli. The tension is palpable as they deliberate on the logistics of their covert operation. Mondli insists on strict adherence to protocol, knowing that any illegal shortcut could compromise their entire effort to take down Amantaliyane. However, Geja expresses skepticism regarding traditional methods, arguing that standard procedures have repeatedly failed to protect the community from organized criminal elements. Nkazimulo acts as a mediator, attempting to balance Mondli's legal caution with Geja's pragmatic urgency. Their dialogue highlights the fundamental clash between formal authority and grassroots survival instincts. As they map out their next moves, the vulnerability of their position becomes starkly evident. The scene visually emphasizes isolation, utilizing dim lighting and tight framing to convey the trapped nature of their circumstances. Every proposed action carries immense risk, forcing each man to weigh his personal ethics against the greater objective. Mondli's determination to secure evidence on record serves as the anchor of the plan, though both Nkazimulo and Geja remain acutely aware of how quickly such plans can crumble in KwaMashu. The narrative deepens the sense of urgency, ensuring that the audience understands the personal sacrifices required to initiate even the smallest pushback against the dominant criminal hierarchy controlling their lives. The narrative transitions to a broader exploration of how recent community disruptions continue to affect individual households. Characters who were previously sidelined by major events now struggle to regain their footing in a rapidly shifting environment. The emotional fallout from past conflicts lingers in every interaction, particularly as community members attempt to maintain a facade of normalcy. Conversations are laced with subtext, as old grievances surface alongside new anxieties about local safety. The dialogue reflects a collective weariness, capturing the reality of a neighborhood constantly forced to adapt to external power struggles. Amidst this backdrop, personal relationships are put to the test. Trusting one's neighbor becomes a complex calculation when external forces threaten to undermine community solidarity. The directorial style relies on steady, observational camera work, allowing the actors to convey internal turmoil through subtle facial expressions and pauses. This segment highlights the human cost of ongoing tension, demonstrating that conflict is not merely confined to high-stakes confrontations, but permeates the quiet, mundane moments of everyday life. By focusing on these interpersonal dynamics, the episode builds a rich narrative texture, reminding the audience that every macro-level struggle in KwaMashu has direct, personal consequences for the people who call it home, setting the stage for deeper character motivations later on. As the day progresses, rumors regarding the true power dynamics in the township begin to circulate among residents. Small gatherings at local meeting points become hubs of speculation, where truth and exaggeration blur. The presence of Amantaliyane hangs like a dark cloud over public spaces, influencing how people speak and act. In this chapter, secondary characters process the subtle changes occurring around them, expressing growing concern over the lack of visible authority. The atmosphere is charged with uncertainty, as residents debate whether to remain silent or push for accountability. This collective unease is captured through sharp, rhythmic dialogue that emphasizes the speed at which news travels in a tight-knit community. The scene serves to build environment and mood, illustrating how systemic threat impacts public morale. People are constantly looking over their shoulders, cautious of who might be listening or reporting back to powerful interests. The narrative cleverly uses these background dynamics to mirror the primary conflict involving Mondli and his allies. By showcasing the township's collective anxiety, the narrative reinforces why the covert mission to gather definitive evidence is so critical. Without a decisive resolution, the community risks descending further into fear, making the success of Mondli's plan a matter of widespread importance. Focusing back on Nkazimulo, this chapter delves into the psychological strain of maintaining a double life. Outwardly, he must appear fully compliant with those who hold power over him, performing duties designed to keep him trapped within the hierarchy. Inwardly, however, he is actively working to tear that very system down alongside Geja and Mondli. The tension of this balancing act is portrayed with great intensity. Every interaction with authority figures requires careful performance. A single slip of tone or a hesitant glance could invite fatal suspicion. The script emphasizes the internal exhaustion that accompanies constant pretense. Nkazimulo's quiet moments of reflection reveal a man pushed to his absolute limits, searching for a way out that does not compromise his core values. The scene uses tight framing to evoke a sense of claustrophobia, matching the character's emotional state. Viewers witness the immense self-control required to play a long-term strategic game under immediate pressure. This exploration of compliance versus resistance underscores one of the episode's central themes, that survival often demands temporary submission, but true agency lies in the secret, deliberate actions taken when no one is watching, furthering Nkazimulo's development as a complex character. Mondli takes center stage in this section as he attempts to secure key resources necessary for the covert operation. Working within official channels while circumventing potential leaks proves to be an extraordinarily delicate task. He must navigate bureaucratic hurdles and institutional skepticism without revealing the full extent of his collaboration with Nkazimulo and Geja. The dialogue is crisp and precise, reflecting Mondli's professional discipline under fire. He understands that if his rogue investigation is discovered prematurely by superiors or corrupted elements, it will mean the end of his career and the immediate failure of the mission. The scene highlights the isolation of a law enforcement officer who chooses integrity over systemic convenience. Through a series of carefully executed moves, Mondli sets up the technological and logistical framework needed to record vital evidence. The pacing accelerates slightly, introducing a procedural element to the narrative that contrasts with the emotional weight of earlier chapters. This technical preparation reinforces the reality of their plan. It is not built on rash bravery, but on meticulous, high-risk planning that leaves virtually zero room for error, building steady suspense for the episode's middle act. The narrative expands to depict the pervasive nature of surveillance within the township. Both sides of the law are watching each other, creating an environment where privacy is non-existent. Geja navigates his daily routines with heightened awareness, continuously evaluating whether he is being followed or monitored. The visual storytelling relies on long shots and obstructed views, placing the audience in the perspective of an observer watching from a distance. This directorial choice heightens the paranoia that defines the character's reality. Geja's interactions with community members are brief and guarded, as he seeks to minimize contact with anyone who might inadvertently be put in danger by his association with the covert effort. The script emphasizes the tragic isolation that comes with taking a stand against organized power. Even casual conversations are laden with subtext, as everyone tries to gauge where true loyalties lie. This chapter effectively demonstrates that the struggle for control in KwaMashu is not just waged through physical confrontations, but through an ongoing war of information, perception, and constant vigilance, where knowing who is watching is just as important as the actions being taken. Attention turns to the internal dynamics of the dominant power structures in KwaMashu. Beneath the surface of absolute control, subtle cracks begin to appear within the ranks. Disagreements over strategy and authority threaten to create friction among those who enforce the current status quo. This scene provides valuable insight into the vulnerabilities of the opposing force, showing that their dominance relies heavily on fear rather than genuine loyalty. The dialogue highlights the arrogance and paranoia that often accompany unchecked power, as leaders question the reliability of their subordinates. For Nkazimulo and Geja, these internal fractures represent a rare window of opportunity, provided they can exploit them without exposing their own intentions. The dramatic tension stems from the unpredictable nature of an unstable power structure. A sudden shift in internal leadership could instantly alter the risks for everyone involved. The narrative carefully documents these subtle shifts in momentum, illustrating that control is never absolute and that even the most formidable factions are susceptible to internal decay when pressured from both the inside and the outside. As the episode enters its final act, the disparate narrative threads begin to converge toward a unified focal point. The initial preparations made by Mondli, Geja, and Nkazimulo reach a critical stage where execution becomes imminent. The atmospheric build-up is palpable, characterized by tighter editing and a more prominent sound design that underscores the rising stakes. Each character prepares for their specific role in the upcoming maneuver, reflecting on the potential consequences of failure. There is a quiet, contemplative quality to these moments, as the reality of what they are attempting fully sets in. The script allows for brief beats of silence, giving weight to the emotional gravity of their choices. Personal motivations are reaffirmed. Mondli seeks justice and order, Geja seeks protection for his community, and Nkazimulo seeks total liberation from the traps that have defined his recent existence. This alignment of goals creates a strong narrative pull, drawing the audience deeper into the suspense. The chapter serves as the calm before the storm, carefully assembling all necessary elements so that the final sequences carry maximum narrative weight and clarity. The covert operation is officially set into motion, with Nkazimulo taking the lead in an environment designed to trap him. The scene documents the initial steps of the plan with precise detail, showing Nkazimulo engaging directly with target elements while Mondli monitors from a distance. Every sentence spoken in this sequence is carefully chosen to elicit specific responses without raising alarm. The tension reaches a peak as unexpected minor obstacles threaten to derail the carefully timed strategy. Quick thinking and composure become essential as Nkazimulo adapts to real-time changes on the ground. The camera work is dynamic, shifting between close-up shots of Nkazimulo's focused expression and wider shots that establish spatial relationships between key players. The narrative emphasizes the sheer nerve required to operate covertly under direct scrutiny. There is no safety net available. If the operation falters, the fallout will be immediate and catastrophic. This segment highlights the thematic core of the episode, that standing up against systemic corruption requires absolute commitment and the willingness to walk a thin wire between danger and survival. With the operation fully active, Geja plays a crucial supporting role, ensuring that external interference is kept to a minimum. His positioning allows him to act as an early warning system, watching for any unexpected movements from opposing factions. The narrative structure alternates between Geja's watchful perspective and the ongoing high-stakes interaction involving Nkazimulo. This cross-cutting technique heightens the rhythm of the episode, creating a seamless sense of momentum. The dialogue remains sparse, allowing visual storytelling and ambient sound to drive the tension. Every shadow, distant sound, or sudden movement carries narrative weight, keeping the audience locked into the character's immediate experience. Geja's quiet resolve reflects the deep bond of solidarity that unites these men in the face of overwhelming odds. They are no longer operating as isolated individuals, but as a coordinated unit bound by a shared purpose. As the scene progresses, the distance between success and failure narrows significantly, setting up the narrative parameters for how this specific chapter of their ongoing struggle will conclude. In the final chapter of the episode summary, the immediate phase of the operation reaches its designated pause point. Rather than revealing ultimate climactic outcomes or definitive legal verdicts, the narrative leaves the characters' position at a major crossroads. Nkazimulo, Geja, and Mondli have committed to a dangerous trajectory from which there is no easy return. The final sequence focuses on the immediate emotional aftermath of their initial steps, capturing the silence that follows intense focus. They have managed to navigate the immediate dangers of the day, but the larger conflict remains entirely active. The camera lingers on each key character in turn, recording their expressions of relief mixed with profound anticipation for what lies ahead. KwaMashu itself remains unchanged on the surface, yet beneath that surface, the foundational shift has begun. The episode concludes by reinforcing its central themes of resilience, strategy, and the enduring human spirit in the face of structural oppression. The stage is quietly set for future developments, ensuring that the ongoing story of power, justice, and survival continues to evolve organically in upcoming broadcasts.